Another area where you are likely to face problems with your image is how you actually take the image yourself with your camera, how you're holding it, if you're angling it up or down, or some way side to side a little bit. You might want to make some corrections to make like your vertical or horizontal lines look straight. Like sometimes they'll be curved, sometimes they'll be rotated one way or another, and the transform tool is here to help with that. So there's a whole bunch of auto tools here. There's auto one, level, vertical, full. And in my experience, none of these have worked very well. But like some of these other manual tools and the guided tool can actually help a little bit. So if we go here, you can do a vertical stretch. And if you can see, it just stretches the whole image, and it's stretching. And this, when you go to the left, scroll to the left, right, it stretches the top up and the bottom inward. And then if you go the opposite way, it does the opposite of that. So this can like help out if you have shot the image looking up or down, right? This can help correct that. So the horizontal is very similar. So if you shot facing to the left or the right and you want it to be shooting straight on, like the horizontal could help with that. Rotation here just rotates the image. So I think we'll talk about the crop tool. The crop tool has the ability to rotate. That's what I would usually use for that. But you can also rotate here as well. Aspect ratio, if you had an image that was shot in maybe 3:2 aspect ratio, but you wanted it in 16:9 aspect ratio, you might do something like this. And that kind of stretches out the image. And then if you combine this with the crop tool, you probably can... you can't do this in Lightroom. In Photoshop, you would be able to crop the canvas size and be able to stretch the whole image. But you should be able to do something like this to make the aspect ratio what your client might be looking for, something like that. And then scale, this basically just zooms in. Again, generally I would just use the crop tool for this kind of function, but there's probably a little bit of correction that goes on with the scaling here as well. And then the X offset and Y offset, basically that just shifts your image one way or the other, right? So the X offset would be the horizontal shifting, and the Y offset would be the vertical shifting up or down. So yeah, so actually let's quickly be super picky on this image, and we're gonna zoom way in on this here, right? So maybe this looks really perfect to you, but actually if you try to line this up with the side of the image here, you can see that it's not perfectly vertical, right? So what we can do to try to correct this is very minorly. We can take the guide here, and we have to actually select 2 points along here, right? You can see that. Let's see, about there. And then we have to find one other thing in the image that's not perfectly vertical. And if we find those two things, then like the auto correction will work for us here. See, that's actually pretty good. Let's see if there's anything else up here. Let's go with... Let's see if we can make a correction here. This one. And we want to make sure we're lined up there. And if we do that, now we can get a correction of like both of these areas that we've noted as needing correction, right? And then so the image should be corrected now, I believe, automatically. So if we come here now, this line should be perfectly vertical, which is what we see. Before, this building looked a little bit off, but now the building seems to be perfectly vertical. So we made a very minor transformation here, and that corrected the very minor problems that we were having with this particular image. So yeah, so that's how the transform tool works and how you can use it to correct your images. One other note is that obviously we did this in the horizontal aspect, right? If you were having vertical problems with your image, and like this could happen with architecture or something, you could also do vertical corrections as well. And so the same light tool for drawing the lines and then doing the correct guided correction would also work there. So that's basically how this works.